So looking at switching up your trigger programs. So I think three sort of suggestions around this. I think first of all, let's explain what a trigger program is if you're not familiar. So what we can do is we can look at the products on your website and we can see when someone's been browsing them, when someone's put a product into a cart, and when someone's actually made a purchase. And if someone's made a browse and they've abandoned that browse, we can send them an automated email with our triggered emails module. And so we can then re-engage with them and say, listen, do you want the product? And it's a really, really good way to recover some lost revenue. Same concept with cart abandon, where we can let people know if a product that's been put into their cart hasn't been purchased. We can get them back onto site to make that purchase. And then with post purchases, which is called purchase complete in the system, we can look at maybe doing some upsells. So I'm thinking of pet jobs online. Some really, really simple use case would be replenishments. So when someone's coming to the end of a replenishment cycle on a prescription, then you can let them know, and then you can go ahead and upsell that to them. So really, really powerful. You can have a look after the session and see that it is a part of your package. If not, we can have a chat with your account manager if he wants to maybe implement that to your Fresh Relevance package. But some ideas around getting triggers into your emails. Just quickly, are there any questions around triggered emails so far?
Not yet, thank you.
Wicked. Feel free to interrupt me at any time. There's a hand at the bottom of the screen, and feel free to come off mute and sort of let me know of any questions. Cool. So my first idea,
if I've checked and they have got the triggered email module.
You have got it. Wonderful. So we can go ahead and we can have a look at that and sort of come up with some ideas for your trigger campaigns that are running. So first of all, it will be a case of updating your templates with some imagery. So the way that trigger programs work, or a trigger works, is you have a trigger program that's running. And what that's doing is you're poking your email service provider and letting them know to send an email out to the customer. And what we can do is we can change up the trigger programs to have different templates running within your ESP. So we let your ESP know which template to send, and then that will go out to your customer. So maybe it'll be a case of adding some new templates in your ESP, and then updating your trigger programs in Fresh to then send out some with some new imagery in there, some summer-related imagery. So an example maybe for a clothing manufacturer is to get some photos of people in summer clothing. You know, really, really simple, but really, really powerful at the same time. What you can maybe do is get some photos, maybe some people on some summer walks with their pets, or things like that. Any sort of thoughts or ideas on that? No? Anything there that you maybe would like to implement in what you're currently doing?
Yeah, I made a note to speak to marketing. I mean, you know, as I said, they're fairly new there as well, so they probably haven't managed to cover everything. So I don't know whether we do trigger emails, but if we don't, we definitely should.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really, really good idea to sort of have some updates to your templates. We can also test and optimize in Fresh Relevance. So as part of a standard package, you will have A/B testing. Then a part of another package is the advanced testing optimization module, where we have a tool called the multi-arm bandit. And what that does is it essentially can set in your variables that you'd like to test, so the various programs, and the system will automatically test them and will push the one to the top that's doing the best based on the outcome you'd like. So whether that's increasing your order value, whether that's increasing your conversions, you know, it's a really, really powerful piece of kit. And it's one that I know that Daisy knows about quite a lot, which is sort of one of her favorite areas of the platform. So yeah, it's definitely very, very powerful things to think about.
Perfect. Yeah, I made a note to speak our account manager what modules we actually have and what everything we can use.
Definitely, that'd be great. Next up is something around refreshing your messaging for the season. So similar to the templates on your emails with the banners, you can also refresh your messaging. So getting some new wording into your emails and sort of trying some different summer-related messages in there. Really, really simple, but really, really powerful again. It's a case of knowing that you're up to time and knowing what's going on right now and getting some relevant messages in there. Again, is this something that you probably like to look to implement into what you're doing right now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think my answer is going to be, I have no idea what modules we have. We'll find that and see what we can do. Sorry, this is going to be fairly boring for you.
That's right. Wicked. Yeah, it's definitely something to go away and think about. And yeah, have a chat with the team, have a chat with your account manager. Absolutely. And we can look to get some stuff implemented, maybe with a training session with one of us in customer success team.
Yeah, it would be great. Thank you.
Third on my list is to add some summer-specific product recommendations. So this will be a part of the email personalization module coming into your triggers. So what we can do in your triggered emails is not only let people know about the products that they've maybe abandoned and not bought, maybe we can also suggest some products that are similar to that, or products that they've been browsing as well that we think they might like. So maybe they didn't find the product they were looking for, or we can suggest them with some of our AI data sources where they can make some very, very scary good predictions about what you might like to buy. So again, a really, really powerful use case of adding that to your triggered emails.
Cool.
Again, I'm not entirely certain if you do have email personalization or not in your current module package.
Makes two of us.
I can see that G's probably having a look right now for me, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a case of really, really powerful again. So adding these to your templates and getting some product recommendations in there.
Yeah, we definitely need to start digging into all these things. I know we have done, or marketing has done some work with the recommending products on our pages, but it was mostly about quantity rather than quality. So that's part of the job we're thinking of taking over and make it a little bit more, bespoke to the customers and related to the product. So yeah, we are. This is my first ever introduction to Fresh Relevance. So I definitely will get in touch with. I think it's Simon is our account manager.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yep, Simon.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah. So we were in touch my first week on the job where I thought, yeah, I'll come in, yeah, I can do all this. And then 3 months later, slightly different issues needed to be dealt with. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about personalization there, and Fresh Relevance is all about personalization. We can really bring in a lot of personalization to your emails, to the triggered emails that we do, and to your website. It's really our big thing that we like to be able to do, to get a tailored experience to each of your customers. So yeah, it's definitely something that we're going to be looking to do. If there's no other points on triggered emails, G, Daisy, anything to add on triggered emails or not?
No, I think that's spot on. I think there's a lot of potential summer content with your audience. Like I think you mentioned earlier, Helena, if there's a ice cream ranges or summer kind of keep cool tips, top tips, or things like that you can content wise you can help, and we can do lots of different things that Will's going to talk about to help you get that content in front of the right customers at the right time.
Perfect.
Yeah, it
Daisy?
sounds really good, Will. I think from my perspective, summer's just always such a joyful time of the year. I don't realise until winter comes again how much I miss the summer. So, something that just spreads a bit of joy will be enough to engage people as well during summer months. So I think that's where the power comes in. So, for triggers as well, perhaps subject line is something else to look at. So you could be triggering different programs based on weather. So keep your pet cool in the sun, when it's hot, versus make sure your pet's warm enough. So I was reading about a poor sunburn the other day, and I was like, that's just such an issue that I've not really thought about before. So, having those sort of almost public service announcement kind of messaging, especially if it's not preachy, will get people to engage with that email, add some product recommendations or something that's going to pull people back to site, and you're onto a pretty quick winner at that point without having to do anything too complex.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing. Well, my next point is all around recommendations. So I did touch on it a little bit at the end, but some ideas around recommendations. So this is part of our smart blocks package, so part of the web and email personalization. So you have your smart blocks, which is your content, which have recommendations as a part of that. So the first one is using tags to make your recommendations specific. So to explain what a tag is, it's almost as if it's like a category. So what we're doing is we're scraping data off your website and letting us know about all of the various ranges of products that you have. So a really, really simple one for what I've currently got on. This is a yellow t-shirt. So under that, it will probably be picking up that it's a yellow, it's t-shirt, and the size of it, which is probably way too big for how old I And then also, it's all of the data, and then what we can do is then personalize that to what we're doing. So it would be a case of on specific pages, such as maybe a product list page on the website, we can then make sure that we're showing only the products related to this page. So for example, I'm trying to think of a product that you do, but if you're on a dog food page, then let's make sure that we're only showing dog food on that page. And then we can still personalize it with the dog food that maybe I think a certain customer might want to buy. So really, really specific there. Any ideas around that? Any thoughts?
No, it all sounds really good. I think, sorry, I'll repeat myself. We are all very new to this.
That's okay.
So just keep going. I'm sure Sarah will jump in if she's got any questions, but it might be the case for both of us, to just have an overview and then actually logging into our account and see, oh, we can do this, or we can do that.
Yeah. Great. Next up is one of the big ones that we like to talk about, which is the best tag value. So it's similar to tags, however, it's a little bit more sort of dynamic. So what a best tag value is it will capture the data on your customers, and then you essentially will set the top tag. So for example, that could be color, that could be brand, that could be area. So for example, in an example with our demo store, so that's our internal thing that we like to sort of demonstrate to people on. We have skis and snowboards. So that will, for example, be one of the categories that we're talking about. And then what it will be able to do is we can then scrape in and we can then show people their best tag value, which will be a case of the product that's most related to them within that tag group. So for example, for me, it could be my favorite colors are gray, yellow, and orange. So we're only going to show me those three colors if you want me to. Or for example, a very, very big use case, for example, with technology, is that people are very, very sort of driven around the brands that they will buy from. So for example, for me, only showing me Android related products will probably work better because that's the sort of brand that I'm most affiliated with. So that's how best tag value is very, very powerful there. So something to probably consider. So any
Just
ideas?
to hop in here. So for you, I imagine I need to check the data, but you'll have pet as a tag, for example. So you could then show the products that are relevant for that pet. So if I'm on your website, my best tag value is going to be cat because I'm looking at cat products because that's the pet that I have. So what you could do, if getting into that summer feel, so maybe you have recommendations that are pulling up your summer products, but then we can add on this best tag value, which would automatically filter them to cats for me. But Will's a big dog person, so he's going to get dogs. So one of the other things about this best tag value is the efficiency that it unlocks for you in personalizing across your whole base based on criteria that you have. So yeah, pet's probably the most obvious example, but also going down to brands of food that you might have tagged, or different types of medication, for example.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. That's the use case.
Good.
Cool, amazing. And thirdly, this is one that I do nerd over quite a lot. It's the price affinity predictor. So this is a filter on a smart block. And what we can do is we can use the data that someone's on your site, so the products that they're browsing, the products that they're carting, the products they're purchasing, to work out what their price affinity is. And then what that filter will then do is it will show only products that are within their price affinity. So for example, I'm browsing stuff that's very, very cheap, really, really sort of affordable. I've just moved house, so I need to keep things on a budget. However, for example, Sarah, you've got a little bit more money to spend, so you're going to be sort of browsing those higher value items. So we're going to put those items in front of you. So it's making it really, really specific to your customer there. It's a really, really nice use case that we see a lot of success with a lot of our different clients.
Just a thought here as well, specifically for you guys. I think this will start to bring up people's affinities for pack sizes as well, which would be quite helpful. It's just a theory, I would say, but obviously you've got variable prices based on pack size. And what this essentially does is split your products into sort of high, medium, low priced items. So if we're looking across food, for example, that probably will start aligning with people getting the 1 kilogram bags, or 5 or I don't know 20 kilogram bags. The price points between those three are quite wide, certainly in my experience. So you might actually find that there's other elements and sort of data points that this will start to target as well, just naturally.
This is where your knowledge of pets is really, really helpful.
Anytime I can talk about my cat, you know me.
Yeah. If I only had a football club on here, then I'd be spitballing. But no, it was it's a really, really good example of that around sort of people that tend to buy in bulk will continually buy in bulk, so that will also scope them in there.
Yeah, no,
Any ideas from you?
no, that's really good point, because obviously you buy, maybe Daisy would buy 1 kilo because she's got 1 cat. Some people who've got more cats, like 5, they would buy bigger packs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really, really useful, the price affinity predictor. And
Yeah.
again, we've seen a lot of success with it being used. It's really, really set up as well. So next up on here, we're going to go into some slot rules. So what a slot is essentially that's what a smart block will go into, and the slot is what will go onto your website. And essentially what a slot is, it's totally dynamic, and we can set out some rules to then dictate what is shown onto the website. So maybe we can use certain filters, some certain marketing rules to then put different slots on. So some ideas here, and these are the really, really cool ones. These are ones that I'm really, really excited for. So first of all is the weather marketing rule. So what we can do is using the location data of your customer is where you know what weather it is outside for them. And then we can dictate what products we show based on that. So a really, really simple one again is going to be a case of if it's raining outside for someone, let's show them some raincoats. If it's sunny outside, let's show them some sandals, let's show them some shorts. Let's get them ready for summer in that respect. So really, really useful. So I'm thinking for you, it'll be something along the lines of some ideas. What's some products that you can think of that are useful for people in the sun for their pets?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, there you go. So when we've got a lot of sun out, we'll be showing some ice cream to these pet owners. However, when it's a little bit sort of a little bit colder, a little bit more wet, maybe we can show some coats, for example. Do you have dog coats?
Yep.
Things to keep your dogs warm. So it's really, really personalizing it to what the customer is experiencing right now in the world. So really, really cool, that one. Any sort of ideas around that? Is that something you maybe like to look at implementing?
That really is a beyond Big Brother watching you, I have to say. I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting. However, it's something that people won't be able to see is happening.
Yeah, I know, but from our perspective, no, it's brilliant. We'll definitely log in and get in touch with Simon, because as I said, I know we're not really using the tool to its full potential, and until we give it a go, we have no idea what it does. So super interesting. Thank you.
Great. And then
We
next up,
actually,
Yep.
sorry, I was just going to say, we have a self-learning path that we can share with you after the call. So there's bite-sized videos on each of the individual features. So
Okay.
it'll give you a nice feel of everything we have available.
Mm.
And then obviously we can organise training sessions, workshops, all of those things. Sile, book those in with us, and we can have a look at your opportunities, how you can optimise. We do a lot of activities, so we can get you there for sure, Helena.
No, that would be great, because I think we are now one of your quietest clients.
you seem quite.
We like them noisy.
We can be. Well, Sarah.
Thanks, Hannah.
In a good sense.
Cool. And then very, very similar to the weather one is the temperature one. So again, a temperature, it'll be a case of it's hot outside. Let's show some ice cream. Let's get the dog something to cool them down, a cold mat, for example. And again, it's similar to the weather one. However, maybe it's not raining outside still. So for me, I'm thinking if it's hot, I'm thinking things like some water bottles, some ice, things like that. Really, really powerful again, the temperature rule. And it's how we can really personalize stuff to what the customer is experiencing dynamically without them even noticing. So really, really cool stuff there. Again, is the temperature one something you might want to look at implementing again?
Yeah, I think right now probably not entirely sure on the difference between the weather and the temperature, or is that like on a given moment, or
So the weather one will be around the actual weather conditions, so rain, sun, stuff like that. However, the temperature will be around the actual degrees outside. So, for example, it's 15 degrees, it's 20 degrees, it's 30 degrees.
right?
So we can really go into that level of detail there. So somewhere is, for example, experiencing heat wave, 30 degrees, for example, we can then show them some really, really specific products around keeping pets cold during a really, really bad heat wave.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
It's a really nice idea, and I guess one of the other things just to touch on is that you don't always have to show content. So it's not a, if it's hot, show this, if it's cold, show this. You can show nothing. So with temperature, for example, you could just have a slimline banner at the top of your website on hot days, just saying, alert, it's hot where you are, be careful with those tiny pores. And it could just little, like almost micro personalizations that just build up that that sort of reputation, I guess, more than anything. A weather watch in terms of what it's like, because then if someone's on the website, when you click on that banner, you could take them through to a landing page with those sorts of products. So you don't have to push products necessarily. We can change up other content.
Yeah. So it's more of educational rather than just push for sale, which I think is something that I know we would like to go that way as well, rather than just keep sending emails and here's an offer, more sort of, blogs and, you have a new kitten, this is what you can do and kind of things.
Yeah, definitely. We can add in blogs and things like that to your website as well, and into your emails too. One example is another one of our pet sort of companies. They're scraping in their blogs into their recommendations, and they're starting to recommend blogs to their customers as part of what they're doing. So again, really, really useful stuff there. So again, it's not all about pushing the products. It is sometimes it's about that other stuff. So again, the banners that Daisy was saying about, and yeah, really, really making it special.
Yeah,
that's
that
spot on.
line between product-based and helpful marketing it's a difficult one to tread, but I think certainly what I'm seeing in terms of trends is that helpful marketing is becoming more and more powerful. That's how people surface things. When you've got things like Google Shopping, it's not the products that are drawing in customers anymore. It's you as a brand and pushing that forward, your uniques, those sorts of things, and becoming sort of the go-to trusted pet guru, I guess. And the more you can position yourself in that way, organically, you'll find yourself being top of mind and people having, staying on your mailing list because you're providing that helpful content and then clicking through to your website and keeping them on that website rather than having someone bounce because you don't have a product in stock or something like that.
Makes all sense.
Great. And finally, it's the date range marketing rule. So this one, it's as easy as it sounds. It's a case of we can then scope in a specific date range. So for example, from the 8th of June, which is today, until the 9th of September, we'll show a specific bit of content on your website or in your emails. So it'll be a case of on a specific sort of, maybe you have a discount period on a specific product range, or maybe there's a certain thing coming up during a specific period that's really, really important to show content on. We can then get that done in advance to get it all ready to go for summer. So it's a case of getting it all set up now and then ready to go out when it's all good.
Yeah, good, perfect. Certainly a lot.
Cool. Yeah, anything to add on that one, Daisy? I know this one that you were sort of telling me a lot about before the session.
Yeah, it's just all about being able to set things up in advance and then just knowing that your marketing's taken care of. If you've got product launches, time sensitive things, rather than, if you're a bit like me, you end up scrabbling for things a bit close to launch. Whereas, being able to set things up in advance and then for it just to flick over. It could be things as simple as changing the color of your banners when it gets to summer months, because it's a bit more of a refreshed and a bright and vibrant look to your website, rather than maybe sort of a cooler color that you'd use in the winter. So there's very small things that you might want to use it for, right up to promotions, things like that. When you do countdown timers, I definitely recommend using a date range. Whilst the countdown timer will sit there after it's counted down, it's taken up important marketing space if it's sat there on the website. So there's a few things where date ranges will definitely be helpful for you, aside from sort of automating your content.
This
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good.
it neatly dovetails in with your content strategy you'll already have in place for things, and it just helps assist that even further. So you might have, I don't know, a tick awareness week or something like that, when people are getting out on longer walks over the summer into the woodlands, etc. And it might neatly help you align that content with the messaging that Fresh can offer.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, everyone's aware we can do more than we currently do, but all the teams are so new and there's so many other issues, so things like that taking a back seat. But it's really good to know there's a tool, well, not just out there, that we have a tool which we can start using.
Definitely. Great. And then finally, on sort of the areas of the platform that we can think about, it is using segments to retarget your summer shoppers. So segments comes as a part of behavioral targeting in that module. So this is one of our sort of sub-modules, I guess we could call them. So one of the smaller ones, however, is really, really powerful behavioral targeting. So what we can do is we can keep the message going. So we can build a segment to send some custom triggers. So what a segment is we can build out something around when a product has a change in price, when a product is low in stock, when a product's just come back in stock that someone was browsing. We can then send an automated email to let them know about that change through both behavioral targeting and also triggered emails, which you do have. So you can send out some custom signals that are very, very fancy. It is a nice way to describe them. But yeah, really, really powerful. It's something that we're discussing a lot with a lot of our customers. It's a big uplift in people wanting to do behavioral targeting. So yeah, it's one that's something I'd recommend if it's of interest.
So how does the function, the email me when back in stock works? Because I thought we have something that function with Magento, but there seem to be some issues, so it's never really been used. Is that then we could just bypass Magento and use Fresh Relevance for that, or?
Okay, so the way that these custom signals work is we first of all build out a segment for these products, and what it will do is then put all of the customers that are related to this into a segment. So let's say we're going to have a segment of people that have viewed a product that has gone down by more than 20%, and that reduction is more than £2, for example.
Okay.
We'll put all of these people into there, and then what we can do is then map that into our triggers, and then we're going to create a custom trigger to then go out to our customers, and then it will then send them an email and say, this product has dropped in price, come and get it. It's really, really simple. So it would still be something that would use your ESP, but it would work in the same way as your other trigger programs are running as well. I can hop into the platform after the slides and we can sort of show you how that would work. But yeah, really, really, really nice use case there.
So that has to be an existing customer which has a active account with the email address, otherwise.
So the way that Fresh works is any email field on your website that's been populated by an email address, that will count as an identification for us.
Okay.
And so we'll be able to then send an email to that customer as part of a legitimate interest. So it's fully GDPR compliant that.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a case of if they've been identified, our identification rates are a lot higher than a lot of other providers. So it'll be a case of then sending an email out to those people.
Okay, perfect. Makes sense.
I've
Brilliant.
just had a little look at your account on the back in stock, and as far as I can see, I don't think we're recognizing products as out of stock. But it's something we can follow up with you about to see if we can lift that up. But it might be that the issue you have with Magento is also impacting Fresh, or it
Okay.
might just be that there's something we're not picking up. So let us follow that one up for you.
Thank you.
No
Yeah.
problem.
I think out of these things we're talking here, that probably would not be the one of the concentrate on, but yeah, it would be good to know that we can do it if we can't get the Magento one working. So
Amazing, lovely. Then the next one is showing different segments, different content. So this again is similar to the sort of slot rules. However, this is one where we can build a segment out. So let's say that we build a segment for people that have purchased a specific line of products. We can then build a segment out to do that and display a certain set of content to that customer. So it's going to be a case of them further personalizing things. So let's say that I'm on your website and I'm browsing a lot of dog food, I'm browsing a lot of dog products. Then you're going to show me some dog related content. So some dog banners, some dog products, so everything to do with dogs on there as part of that. So I'm part of your dog segment. You can build out those segments even further. So again, it's another layer of that personalization and keeping everything very, very personal to your customer.
fabulous.
Lovely. Anything to add, Daisy, G?
I think typically speaking, this would work really well for your niche, because obviously cats will have a particular fondness for a certain brand, and they can be quite particular of her brand choices. So yeah, this would really help that customer lifetime value, repeat purchase, keeping in stock, etc. I think that would work really well for you.
I agree. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, just thinking on the topic of summer as well, what you could potentially do is sort of compare segments of people who've bought on, cooler times of the year versus hot times of the year, and you'll be able to start seeing differences in behavior as well. So Segments comes with an analytics portal where you can compare on-site behavior between people. So what are people browsing? When are they on your website? All of these sorts of things. So you could start to surface not only active programs, the retargeting and all the great stuff we've spoken about, but just learning more about your customers and taking those learnings and feeding them into how you speak back to them as well can be really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think marketing will be very interested in some of these things as well. So I'll make sure I'll pass it on as well.
Amazing, great. Then finally on this one is building segments to retarget outside the platform. So what we can do is build some segments of your customers, and then you can export all of their email addresses and then use that to retarget outside of Fresh Relevance, whether that's in something like Google Ads or any other thing you can think of. So it's really, really powerful, that one. So we can have a look at the behavior of your customers and use that, and then you can use that outside the platforms, then remarket and re-show things to people as you'd like to.
Cool. No escape.
I wouldn't quite say that one, but almost.
I think when I've been working sort of on big data products for a while, Tesco's Club Cards, to name a few, probably wouldn't get one of those loyalty cards if I were you. But what I really like about what we do in Fresh is it's not as untoward as it seems. Like, we really are helping customers, and no one likes scrolling through endless product pages to find what they want, especially when I guess you're not necessarily a site that people are just perusing. Generally, you've got a problem you're trying to solve, whether that's feeding an animal or medicating it. So, I definitely would see it from your lens, absolutely, that this is all helping a customer to navigate the site. Rather than being too intrusive, which I appreciate it can feel that way.
No, it's just a passing comment. Obviously from us as a company, it is brilliant. I'm just thinking, when I'm a poor customer and I'm thinking, oh, bad, I just glance at the website and I can't escape because they have me. So, that's fine. I've obviously ever shown an interest in something, so why not to try to get me back and and make me spend the money. I'm all in for that. It wasn't a negative comment in any way.
Oh no, but no, I was really totally with you.
The technology is there, and you know, you will part with your money, you know, whether it's me or somebody else, and that's just the way it is. And plus, it's for animals, so you know, you should spend all your money on animals. I would recommend that.
Yeah, certainly like having all the money spent on them. I can say that much.
I agree with you, Daisy. Believe me.
Amazing. So that's for all the stuff within Fresh Relevance. However, just a few marketing dates to sort of draw your attention to and let you know about. So there's a few here that could be sort of things to sort of be aware of and things that you can sort of prep for in advance and get these put into Fresh Relevance as part of your campaigns. So obviously it's coming very, very soon, but Father's Day is on the 19th of June. So you can maybe put some stuff on there around sort of, I don't know, maybe Dad's dog or something like that, or something along those lines. On the 21st of June, there's the summer solstice. So a lot of companies we've seen have put some specific marketing around that. 4th of July, you know, maybe get some of your banners and some of your content, your website and your emails sort of looking sort of very American with a lot of blue and red in there. July, sort of one for the schools, is thinking that it's the start of summer holidays. So, you know, for example, there are some travel companies that we've worked with that can see some really, really important messaging around the start of the summer holidays. And then September, obviously kids are back to school. So sort of school uniform, things like that. Maybe even pet sitters, for example, are needed with less people in the house. And finally, on the 27th September, World Tourism Day. So all very, very big events that sort of can be prepped for in advance within Fresh Relevance, and you can get your content ready to go ahead and get deployed. Are there any sort of events that are coming up for you that you're kind of getting ready for?
And Sarah, probably I can think about only Black Friday. What do you think? That probably we would get our act together and use this definitely for Black Friday. Especially we can prep things in advance, which sometimes seems to be the issue here.
Yeah, in terms of special dates for the summer, there's probably nothing apart from the hot weather side of it. It's probably more where we would need to focus efforts on. And like Helen has said, it's more sort of Black Friday side of things in terms of actual dates at the minute.
Yeah, we're hoping that some more companies will come along, but you're the only ones that are kind enough to come along, and so yeah, we kind of prepared for everyone that we had expected, but yeah, it's one way. Yeah, Black Friday again is one that we can prepare for with some countdown timers, for example, getting ready for sales, letting people know about things to be messaging. So yeah, definitely that's a great use case there.
I can't stop thinking about having like a summer solstice banner and you've just got loads of dogs dancing around Stonehenge with like flower headbands on.
Are we selling any flower bands? we start selling some. What did we start selling? Disney and Marvel dog leashes could be. So maybe that could go a little bit with the Independence Day being an American.
Amazing. Well, there are 13 minutes left, so anything that I covered today, would you maybe like to see some of it in the platform? Sort of anything that sort of jumps out that you'd like to see being used in the platform?
I can't tell for myself. Sarah might have some ideas, but you know, I just can only say we really need to dig into the modules, what we have, and see what Chris from marketing team has already done some of the blogs. But yeah, I mean, you know, as I said, I have a login and I've logged in once. I had to look around and I was like, I have no idea what this is about. Shelve it for some other time. And look, 3 months down the line, the time's here. So very
We'll
timely.
definitely get that resource over to you to sort of help you get started up with using the platform.
Me and Sarah, it's Sarah can confirm that it's on our to-do list, isn't it? We talked about it only last week or the week before last. Yeah,
it's definitely on our to-do list now. It's becoming more of a focus for us. We can really delve in deep to understand all the uses, and but I suppose in terms of if there's anything that would be good for us to look at, is it possible maybe to have a look at the best tag value and see whether?
Yes, absolutely. Let me bring up my window. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Would you like me to zoom in a little bit, or Is that okay?
Maybe a tiny bit, but it's probably my eyes. So,
I've been told that I basically have my stuff zoomed out really, really far. So please feel free to tell me if I've not had it zoomed in enough. Cool. So the best tag value. So this will be one that we'll go on to the content for, and we go on to smart blocks. We are in the demo store right now, so everything you're going to see is very related to skis and snowboards. This is sort of the area where at Fresh Relevance we can sort of have a little explore and have a bit of a play around with different things. I'm just going to go on to a very random one here that was made by a random member of the team. And it will be a case of if I go on to the filtering tab, I can then go on to product, and I could drag in the best tag value here. Just drag and drop this one in. And then here we have all the options. So we can have a look at the filter to the best, and it could be the top 1. We could even have the top 10. So it's basically a case of the top X amount of products or the X amount of tags that someone's experiencing. And it'll be a case of what data we want to drag in. So is the top 10 products that someone's browsed? Is the top 10 that they're carted, the top 10 purchased of the tags? For example, let's go with browsed. And then we can also choose the data source that we use. So we can have 14 days, we can up this to maybe 21 to get a more wider scope. Or we could, if we see a lot of traffic to the site, we could maybe lower this down to 3 and have more sort of centralized scope. The next bit is where we sort of add in the sort of levels. So here in this one, for example, we've got brand, we've got color, there's gender, there's subcat or subcategory, and there's top level. So on this one, for example, if I go for color, what's going to come into this smart block is the top 10 right now colors that I've been browsing. However, we want to make it a bit more specific. I've maybe put this down to 3, and so it will show the top 3 colors that I've been browsing over the last 3 days in this recommendation smart block. That's how this one works. We can also add some more filters to it as well. Yep.
So I'm just looking in your account. So the options that you have where Will's showing you now, we've got animal. So, you know, which type of animal it is. There's required prescription. So we're identifying whether people are browsing prescription products or non-prescription products. Probably not one to use in this best tag value filter. But then we've got species as well. So they're the 3 categories that you can run through. But you can leave that field blank and it will just look over all the different tags, which will have things like brands of products, but it just might not be structured in a way that we can be specifically show the top brand. But when it comes to your data, I think if you just let us know what you want to achieve, then we can review. It might be that your website's changed a bit since we onboarded you, or what you're trying to achieve is there. So we might not be collecting the data right now, but we can look into doing that. So, I mean, brand, I imagine, would be quite a useful one for you because I'm definitely brand loyal, I guess, when it comes to products, just because you don't want the faff of it, the faff of it not taken. So that's something that I would definitely recommend we look into, for example. But if there's anything else on your radar where you would want to be specific to a category, then just let us know and our team can review whether it's possible, and then we can support you getting it set up.
Great, thank you very much.
That's good. Yeah, no, I think Sarah will agree. Brand definitely wasn't a brand. Obviously, cat, dog, small animal, horse, or whatever. That will be definitely yeah. And then dry food, maybe, and wet food, things like that. You know, the not every cat eats dry, and not every cat eats wet. As Daisy probably knows, and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, shall I leave that one with you then? And then once you've had a think about what data points, and just drop us a note, and well, it'll go through to our support team. So you can either contact them directly or drop us an email and we'll support you through that, whichever really works best for you.
Yeah, we definitely need to have a good dive in. Sarah, can you put it on your to-do list somewhere?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's excellent. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you giving us the whole hour. If it's just 2 of us out of so many people that sign up, it's much appreciated.
That's all right. But there's still 6 minutes left if there's anything else you wanted to cover.
I think the weather and temperature
Yeah,
rules
that's what I was thinking.
They're quite pretty to look at.
So yeah, this is a little bit sort of, this is something that we're kind of migrating away from a little bit with the new flow coming in. But you know, the slot rules are a lot prettier. So the slot is the bit of content that goes onto either your website or your email, and this is what gets embedded and will display, for example, here the smart block here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose this one and edit. And then I'm going to go into the rules tab here. And let's have a look at what's currently set up in this one. Cool. So this one's actually quite a fancy one. So currently it's set up with the last visit within the last 12 months. So that was, then we're going to show one here. And then if they purchase one product ever, we'll show this. And this is where we can get very, very personal with our customers. If I go onto the weather tab, there are the two options here. So we've got temperature and we've got weather. So let's drag this one up here. And so what I can do here is drag the sliders to set the range for the temperature. So let's say if it's below 20 degrees. So if it is below 20 degrees, I'll show this. If it isn't below 20 degrees, I'll show something else. That's how this one's working. And then there's the same concept for the weather. So if I go into the weather tab, it'll be a case of choosing weather. So we've got here cloudy, rain, snow, lightning, or sun. So whatever's happening outside, we can then personalize it. So let's say it's sunny outside. If it is sunny, we'll show something else in there. If it isn't, we'll show something different or show nothing at all. And we've got the option here to add no content on that. Does that make sense?
Yes. So I think you probably said that in the intro, but I think it's only now the dots are joining. So this is based on the customer's location while the browsing is picking up the location.
Yeah. So it'll be likely through.
How are we gonna know what's the weather?
It'll be essentially, it's likely to be through the IP address.
Yeah.
So you're picking that one up, and then we'll know where that IP address is, and then from there it'll basically be live data that we're picking up.
Yeah.
On that.
That's very intelligent. Perfect.
Yeah, fresh relevance is what it does. So really, really cool.
I'm not disputing it at all. I'm blown away with all these possibilities. I'm just thinking we need 2 more people in the team to explore it into it.
Well, we do run and have a chat with your account manager, but we run what we call workshops. I think I had you on the radar for maybe 6 months ago, but it wasn't the right time. But what we can do is we'll have a little review internally in terms of what you're doing, and then we'll have a session that lasts about an hour and a half, and we just run through different opportunities. We have a little chat trying to work out what's going to be most effective for you. And then off the back of that, we go away and we get you content to help support you implement it. So you know, what you said is perfectly right. There is so much in our platform and there's lots of options, which makes it quite overwhelming just from a first login. So yeah, part of our job is to help direct you and yeah, just making sure that we're implementing the use cases that are going to show you the most ROI, because you could be spending a lot of time building out a lot of things. Even with a team of 4, you could probably not do everything. So yeah, we're definitely here to help you prioritize and weigh up the effort versus the return as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely be interested in some quick wins, you know, which we can do with the a woman power we have within the team. Yeah, and then, you know, maybe concentrate on some of the nice haves, but maybe start with the, you know, must haves / should haves. Yeah, no, perfect. Yeah, we'll definitely block some time in our calendar, mine and Sarah's, and get marketing in to see what who can be interested in doing what. Yeah, no, perfect. That's really very, very useful. So many interesting tools out there. There we are.
Yeah, might be worth just showing the tactics library, Will.
Yeah, definitely. I know this is your pride and joy. So if we go on to the help section, and then it'll be just down here. So click on the help section. The tactics library is here.
Okay.
And we have a load of different articles here to sort of recommend what we can do. So you see down here, it will say what module you need to have to be able to do this, and it will just give you a really, really simple overview of how you go ahead and implement that tactic, just with simple step-by-step guides.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a list of different marketing tactics and ways you can get there. So say you've been tasked with increasing your average order value, there's a few different ways we can do that. And then it's all step by step. It's littered with guidance, best practices, and really just hand holding you through that. So in terms of quick wins, I'd say most of the things on this page, because it's step by step, you can see exactly what's involved. We also have an amazing support team as well. So if you do hit any barriers, they'll have you up and running within hours, if not sooner.
Perfect. And did one of you mention that you have sort of like a bite-sized videos about modules and things? Is that something?
Yeah, so what I can do is after the session send you out our start guide. However, if you want to play about in the platform as well, what you will see, if I go back to the home page, is number one, there'll be this question mark dotted about the platform. It'll basically show you some relevant content on there for that. So that'll be sort of how-to articles, things like that. And next to it as well, we also have videos as well that we can show, and it'll also be relevant to the page. So let's say I go on to triggers, for example. The videos icon will be specific to triggers and how we do all that. So yeah, and these they're great right now. However, in the team, we're also going to be looking at sort of upgrading these videos over the next couple of quarters. That's sort of one of our big goals, is to try and update these all as well. But do check them out because they're really, really good, really, really simple as well. So yeah.
Oh, I'm very impressed. Thank you.
That's what I like to hear.
Perfect. I don't have anything else. I'm really very, very, very impressed and quite tempted to give it a go.
Feel free to give it a go. You know, it's something that it takes a bit of time to learn, but it's really, really powerful, but really, really easy as well once you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If I can learn it, anyone can learn it.
You undersell yourself.
That's my line. I'm the lowest common denominator. If I can do it, anyone else can do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what I live by life by. So yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming along, guys, and I will definitely get in touch with you after the session as well with all the different resources we promised as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, we can
Thank you so much. Again, appreciate your time and effort. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.